yesterday and had the chance to visit. I was in Portland yesterday and had the chance to visit with the governor of Oregon and also the mayor. They're in town and they are absolutely covering up the terrorism that is hitting their streets.
In wartime, you learn to adapt. Welcome to the Portland Saturday Market. We're here getting provisions for war.
While you talked about some of the stories of our ICE agents, our Border Patrol agents, how they have been attacked, how they have been shot at, injured, the damage that they've done.
Shots are flying in Portland, Oregon. Get ready, people. I don't know if you can hear that. That's the drum circle. That is how we rally our troops.
We're down here at the ICE facility yet again, and as you can see, it's just giant bubbles. So this is the war zone, everybody.
These leaders in these local cities, along with Pritzker and Johnson, ignore what's going on, or sir, they're helping Antifa cover it up.
Very dangerous. You don't know what they're hiding.
When I recorded them doing that, I looked down, I panned down to the ground, and then that's when I saw the pastor and some people on the ground as well. And so there was nothing that was provoking it. He wasn't doing anything that was being seen as anything threatening. And when I saw him getting sprayed in the face, I was thinking that this was so surreal. Everything was happening around me. I've been to many different protests over my life. Never have I experienced anything like this.
Ready to link arms.
Has been arrested in Tennessee for posting a meme about Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk calling for the Epstein files to be released. This is unreal. Here's the two memes that he posted which got him arrested. As you can tell, the first one there is that horrible picture of Charlie Kirk saying they need to release the Epstein files, changed my mind. Then the second one right here is a quote from Donald Trump himself saying we have to get over it. He said that just one day after the Perry County High School mass unaliving. But they arrested this guy for alleged threats of mass violence after he posted these memes in a Facebook group chat where people were organizing a vigil for Charlie Kirk. This guy was a former police officer and he posted that meme of Donald Trump in a Perry County community group page. However, members of the group interpreted this post as a threat against their local high school, which is also called Perry County High School. That doesn't make any sense. All this guy was trying to do was point out that Donald Trump does not care about the loss of life whatsoever. Investigators also believe he was fully aware of the fear his post would cause and intentionally sought to create hysteria within the community. Yeah, right. As a result of these insane beliefs, he was arrested early Monday morning and charged with making threats of mass violence on school property and activities. In a stunning moment, Pam Bondi just said they're going to start executing American citizens who they deem as being Antifa. She said, just like we're doing with the cartels, we're going to do the same thing with Antifa. Everybody needs to watch this clip and understand how serious this really is.
More than just getting the bad guy off the streets, it's breaking down the organization brick by brick. Just like we did with cartels, we're going to take the same approach, President Trump, with Antifa. Destroy the entire organization from top to bottom.
That is not normal political rhetoric. They are openly talking about executing American citizens based on their political beliefs. Antifa is used as a catch-all term to describe anybody who is against fascism, meaning what she said is essentially a threat to dissent itself. Antifa is not an organized terrorist group. This has been proven time and time again. People who are against fascism are not criminals. But here we have the Attorney General of the United States saying she wants to treat these people like they're cartel members. That type of language mirrors authoritarian regimes where governments conflate opposition.
I decided to open with that because Lafayette Mordred yesterday, he was saying, for some reason, you know, he didn't trust mainstream media. So that's some examples from not so mainstream media. So there you go. Not mainstream media, and hopefully we're not confused anymore. So, yeah. Anyway, opening sequence. Here we go. All right, by popular request, Cassandra says I should just skip and go straight to the news. Fuck. So there we go. Had to turn that on. Yeah, I don't think I do either. I don't think I have super chat, but I don't qualify. I do want to keep this short today because I actually was working on stuff for a video. I got a ton of stuff. I do need to grab one more thing for it, but I think I'm going to make a video about how lame and stupid and cringy the Groypers are after the because Roz Williams Scholar Society got upset about somebody being mad at him in the goth subreddit, so he decided to be a Groyper. And it's just kind of like, why is everything so fucking stupid? All right, and also I've got other shit that I need to do. Yeah, just trying to make time. So, not very many articles today. I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as I can. USA Today. President Trump begins mass layoffs of federal workers amid government shutdown. We knew he was going to do this. The Democrats talked about it. The Democrats said, I don't care. Because they've been doing that anyway. They've just been laying people off left and right anyway. So it's just kind of like, yeah, go ahead, do it. You've been doing that anyway. Nobody, like, laying people off that you're going to have to hire back because you can't get the government to function. I think that's the lesser of evil than, making kicking a ton of people off of their health insurance and making everyone else's health insurance premiums double or triple, and not just premiums but also out of pocket expense. There is this. I don't know what this video is. I don't know if it's worth watching. I don't want to watch the ad. Fuck the ad. They should pay me for having this on here. They should pay me. Let's see. No, we're not doing that. Washington President Donald Trump on Friday followed through on his long-standing threat to fire federal workers during the government shutdown, taking aggressive action to downsize the government in a dramatic break from past shutdowns. The rifts have begun. Russell Vogt, director of the White House Office of Management and Budget, said in a post on X referring to reductions in force or rifts of federal departments and agencies. Why is it that all these people want to do their announcements on X or Truth Social? So they can control the narrative. Yeah, that makes sense. On an OMB, spokeswoman would not say how many federal workers are affected or which agencies were targeted, but described the layoffs as substantial. The Trump administration later said about 4,000 federal workers had so far received RIF notices. The figure was detailed in a court document the Justice Department submitted in response to a lawsuit from unions representing government workers, but additional layoffs are coming, a senior administration office told USA Today. The initial wave of layoffs spanned 7 federal departments, 315 workers in the Commerce Department, 466 in the Education Department. As if we could afford to do that for education in America. 187 in the Energy Department. So does that mean our energy bills will be going back down? No, they're still going up because BlackRock sucks. Are these other companies that are going around buying it up too? Department of Housing, HUD, had 442 layoffs. 176. Man, HUD had 442. That's not good. That'll impact a lot of people on disability, retirement, SSI, people who live in poverty, people collecting food stamps. A lot of issues with that one. That's okay. 176 in the Department of Homeland Security. Oh, you can do a lot more in the Department of Homeland Security at this point. And 1,446 in the Treasury Department. Because, we have such massive national debt. Crazy amount of national debt. Our economy is declining. And the U.S. dollar is basically tissue paper. Actually, I pulled up an article that talks about U.S. dollar just not being worth shit anymore. Like all the central banks, there's more about this gold investing. White House officials have argued the layoffs are needed to ensure essential government services have funding, but many legal experts and unions have raised legal objections, accusing Trump of using the shutdowns to advance his political agenda and to punish Democrats. Two unions, the American Federation of Government Employees and the American Federation State, County, and Municipal Employees, preemptively sued the Trump administration on September 30th over the president's repeated threats of layoffs. The suit argues firing workers during the shutdown is an abuse of power that strips federal employees of back pay rights and violate agencies' statutory duties. Shortly after Vought's announcement, attorneys representing the unions filed a motion in federal court seeking a temporary restraining order to immediately halt the layoffs. It's disgraceful that the Trump administration has used government shutdown as an excuse to illegally fire thousands of workers who provide critical services to communities across the country. The AFGE National President Everett Kelly said, layoffs carried out in past shutdowns historically, non-essential federal workers are placed on furloughs that pause their pay during government shutdowns, but they are not part of widespread federal workforce layoffs. About 750,000 federal workers have been furloughed during the shutdown. The Trump administration this year has already fired tens of thousands of federal workers as part of Trump's Department of Government Efficiency efforts to drastically cut the size of the federal government. And we're having to bail out Javier Milei because he did that, and it's totally causing the country to collapse. And they need it to work. They want to bail him out. They need it to work, because if it doesn't work, then it shows that Javier Milei didn't work, and that means that what we're doing doesn't work. So that's why people are talking about, we may not be seeing a recession, we may be seeing a Great Depression. Where was I? For days, Trump warned Democrats he may pursue mass layoffs of workers and shutter government programs if the shutdown, which began on October 1st, drags on. The White House held off on reductions for more than a week after initially saying layoffs were imminent and coming in a day or two. Democrats in Congress have demanded that reversing recent Medicaid cuts and extending expiring Affordable Health Care Act subsidies be included in any funding bill to reopen the government, but Republicans say they won't entertain any changes to the health care policy until the shutdown is over. Well, that's just a nifty trick. I mean, if the Democrats say, okay, we'll reopen the government so you can continue the Affordable Care Act so everybody doesn't get screwed over on their health care. The moment they open the government, the Republicans say, no, we've decided we're not going to do that. And that's what the Democrats are saying is, we want it on paper. We want to guarantee that when we reopen, you are not going to do that to people. The standoff has resulted in the Senate voting 8 times to defeat dueling bills to reopen the government. In addition to mass firings of federal workers, Trump has also threatened to block back pay of federal workers and to cut Democrat programs from the government if Democrats don't join Republicans to end the shutdown. We're going to be cutting some very popular Democrat programs that aren't popular with Republicans, frankly, because that's the way this works, Trump said. They wanted to do this, so we'll give them a little taste of their own medicine. What do you mean a little... they're the ones that have been running amok. I don't know, a lot of the positions of the left tend to be very, very popular. I wouldn't do that, but I guess Trump doesn't care. He can't run again, so... This is what I was talking about, why soaring gold prices could be a warning sign for the economy. It is a warning sign for the economy. And I've talked about this in some of the other live streams, some of the other articles that I've read, the declining, the dollar losing its value, and central banks have more gold than they have invested in the American dollar. People aren't people in other countries are no longer investing in the American dollar. They're investing in the yen and gold and silver. So gold prices have soared more than 50% so far this year, delivering mammoth returns for traders holding the safe haven investment. But the run-up in gold could portend a downturn for the U.S. economy, and that shouldn't be surprising to anyone. So that was the only reason that I was interested in this. Is it's just backing up the idea that we could be looking at serious financial problems going into the future. We could be looking at more than a recession. We could be looking at a depression. And again, like we're doing the same things that Javier Milei did, and they didn't work. That's why they're trying to bail him out. They really want it to work because we did the same things here. It's ridiculous. This is just going over the tax brackets again. I just wanted to reiterate this. I went over this yesterday. Tax bracket rates for 2025 to 2026. So for tax years 2025 and 2026, there are 7 different tax brackets: 10%, 12%, 22%, 24%, 32%, 35%, and 37%. The IRS provides annual inflation adjustments to the income ranges within each bracket. And so this is what we're looking at again. This is the thing that gets me. And this is different than the article I looked at yesterday. This put it at 12,500, I think. But a single person making, on the article I read yesterday, 12,500. This says 11,925, and below has to pay 10%. It used to be if you made this low of a wage, you did not have to file, and now you're going to have to file and pay 10%. I hope I'm interpreting that wrong, but let's see. So 48,000 a year to 103,000 a year. That's going to be taxed at 22%. Oh, and then here's the 2026. Oh, here's what, yeah, so single people, 12,400 and below, 10%. So, and yesterday I even went into the yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This used to be a tax exempt status. And then I wanted to talk about this. I'm not going to read the full article, the 8 minutes. Something exploded in Tennessee. It says 18 people missing. I saw an update to this article that said there are no survivors. This was not an attack or anything. Early Friday, a thundering blast at a military and industrial explosives plant reverberated across a tight-knit community in central Tennessee, razing an entire building on the plant's sprawling campus and killing a still now it's the number is known. There's a more recent article than this that came out just not too long ago. No one survived. Rattled homes, offices. We need communities to come together and understand what we've lost a lot of people. Yes. The explosion occurred during the early shift at Accurate Energetic Systems, a manufacturer of military and demolition explosives that employs scores of local residents. Employs scores of local residents. Prayers are needed. What triggered it? The blast triggered a series of smaller explosions, officials said, and the cause is still under investigation. I bet you it's due to lack of regulation. And if the updated article, which I'm not going to look at, but if you want to go and look at, it would not surprise me if the updated article says that it was. They probably won't say that it's due to lack of oversight and regulation, but if it's something like safety checks weren't done properly, blah, 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 somebody made an oopsie and it went kaboom, that's basically what that means, is lack of oversight, regulation, which, again, we've been cutting a lot of regulation, like OSHA, we've cut a lot of OSHA laws, that keeps stuff like this from happening. And then the other thing that I wanted to do, Mexico flood leaves at least 27 dead and more missing. At least 27 people have died. Others are missing, according to authorities, after floods in Mexico triggered landslides and swept away homes, vehicles, and bridges. Another thing that is really interesting about this is that down in the southern states, they are, I guess, experiencing massive, massive heat waves and trying to figure out how to survive because it's getting so hot. Because global warming isn't real. And it's just like where I live, it's October. It's like 90 degrees outside. It was never 90 degrees outside in October when I was a kid. It would start sleeting, like raining ice and getting like chilly cold, but not like super cold, like maybe 30 degree. Sometimes maybe as low as 20 degree weather in October. You did not see 90 degree weather. That was not a thing. And there was something else that was related to this. But it's not coming to me. Yeah, that's all I wanted to cover today. Yeah, it is crazy. It really is. Let me see if... I can find like some of this other stuff. Here's the Tennessee explosion. No survivors from blast at Tennessee explosive plant. No survivors. None. They all died. 300 people. Oh, no, wait. That's just a quote from somebody. I can tell you more than 300 people have been through almost every square inch of the facility. How many people, though? Certified explosive specialists and bomb technicians with the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives are also at the scene to help law enforcement. Previously, it was stated 18 people were unaccounted for after the blast, according to statements. On Saturday, officials did not provide specific number of individuals that they have recovered from the scene. Authorities said they will be conducting some controlled explosions throughout the day on Saturday to clear out any dangerous material currently at the scene. 4 to 5 people were brought to hospitals, according to sheriff, who did not detail their injuries. Asked to describe the building explosives. So they're not saying what caused the explosion. They're not saying how many people died. Just explosion, no survivors, and that's it. Fuck you. There was something else that had to about the flooding, how hot it's getting in the south. But I can't find it. With troops set to miss a paycheck, Trump's orders Pentagon to unlock funds. So he's going to pay the troops, but he's not going to pay. He's actually going to. Is that what this is saying? That he's going to pay the troops, but he's not. He's actually going to withhold pay from every other federal worker. Yeah, troops are paid despite shutdown. Our brave troops will miss the paychecks they are rightfully due on October 15th. So Trump is going to pay them, but he's going to restrict the back pay of all the other people that are out of work. And even lay thousands of them off. That's a fun thing to do. Yeah, so I guess I should grab those articles so I can put the links to these two in the description as well later. Exactly. Climate change be changing. But I just wanted to do this, this was just going to be a quick one today. Because like I said, I actually got started on a video today. And I've collected a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I can show early. I hate it when it does this. I keep clicking to bring up a window and it just won't do it. There we go. Finally. Holy shit. I don't know why it was doing that. That's dumb. I always try to leave the citations. So I'll get this in here. I'm trying to think. I'm really trying to think. Is there something I can show early about the video that I was working on? I'm trying to think. Because I don't want to give too much of it away. I don't want to give too much. But a lot of it was inspired by the Ross Williams Society the Roswell Scholar Society, the guy who runs that, deciding that he was gonna become a groyper because some people, I guess, to the best of my understanding, and I think it's not an excuse. It's not. That's a piss poor excuse. He decided to become a groyper over that. So. I think that's something. I think I found some things I think I can show that won't give too much away. How rich do you think Nick Fuentes is? Do you think that he speaks to the everyman? Do you think he speaks to poor white people? This is his house. 7-bedroom house. That's what he lives in. This is a rough estimate of his income. Highest puts it at about 828,000. More realistic estimate of his annual income is about 140,000 per year. So there's that. One of it even said, like, there's people who even say that he's just a yeah, these people, like, who did this podcasting stuff, they make a lot of they can make a lot of money if they get enough traction. So there's something else I can show that I think is interesting. And specifically, Cassandra, I wanted you to look at it because there's things in it. Hold on, where is it? Here we go. I'm just gonna... Not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. Here we go. I got it. No, I still don't have it. Shit. Okay, now I have it. Now I have it for real. Okay. Now I have it for real. So, Cassandra, since you know, do you see this here? Like, how do you pronounce that? And there's also this. This is from like ancient Greek type stuff. This tends to be more your type of thing. I don't know how to pronounce this stuff. And they have a bunch of it here. This is actually like what a lot of these people on social media, like these influencers, these political influencers, what they're doing is really not new. It's old as shit. So there's a lot of stuff referring to like ancient Greece. These words that I cannot pronounce because they're, Greek. But yeah, so these are just some of the things I was looking at for that video. Anyway. So that about does it, I think. And I can send you the links to them later if you want, and you can look through those, like, about the ancient Greek ones. I don't want to give away too much of it. But that's all I was going to do for the stream today. I'm done. There's things that I got to get done still. A lot of things on the agenda. I'm getting very, very exhausted, so... I'm going to call it a day. And you guys can like, share, subscribe, and comment and stuff if that's whatever you want to do. I'm going to just cut to this and then do the outro. Did it even cut to it? Yeah, it did. It cut to it. And bid you guys a good day. I'm out for the day. I'll leave you with the final cut mix. How about that?